A very good afternoon to all connected. I, Dr. Nidhi, on behalf of SUMeerut Institute of Engineering and Technology, NAC A-grade accredited deemed to be University Meerut, welcome you all for the session on Business Model Canvas, organized by University Institution Innovation Council. Business Model Canvas provides a high-level comprehensive view of the various strategic details required to be a successful businessman. The typical use case of this tool is to outline the fundamental building blocks of a business, and it gives entrepreneurs a wide snapshot of every aspect of their business. It quickly and easily defines and communicates a business idea or concept. To achieve the detailed knowledge of Business Model Canvas, we are lucky to have with us the resource person of the session, Dr. Sheetal Chadda, presently professor at IILM Institute of Higher Education, Delhi. Dr. Sheetal is an academician, researcher, and trainer. She holds 18 years of experience in academics and 5 years of industrial experience. She holds PhD from Faculty of Management Study, University of Delhi, International Certificate from University of Exeter, United Kingdom. She is MBA Gold Medalist and MA in Public Administration. She has consulting experience with Government of India as part of audit team in Result Framework document. She has been conducting training sessions for the banks like Punjab National Bank. She has authored several research papers in national and international journals of repute. We welcome you, ma'am, and we request you to kindly enlighten and motivate our students to be a successful businessman and an entrepreneur. I hand over the session to you, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful introduction. At the outset, I would like to thank SUMeerut University and a big thanks to Dr. Navneesh Tyagi, who been a long-standing friend and something which I really cherish. And because ma'am has extended an invitation long back, and so there was no case of denial here. And so thank you so much, Navneesh ma'am, for the kind invite, and also Dr. Nidhi for wonderful coordination with me for over multiple weeks. I think we had previous dates fixed up earlier, and then later on. But it was wonderful interacting with both of you, ma'am. So if you permit me, I'll put on with my slides.
Sure, ma'am.
You have to just give me a hint, ma'am. Are they visible? Are the slides visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Okay. So I'm putting them into PowerPoint mode. So is it clearly seen to all of you?
Yes, it's visible. I
Thank
request
you
all the
so much.
participants to mute.
Thank you so much. And I would request the students to kindly mute yourself. Or ma'am, you can exercise your discretion and kindly mute the students. All right. So can I begin, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. So the topic for today is business model canvas, and why we are doing it, and what is the what is the kind of terminology this is. I am going to go in complete depth, and first of all, let's talk of this concept of entrepreneurship. I have seen that, many of the students believe that whenever we have got such kind of external sessions, they are usually a kind of, extra drag on them, because something they are already they are undergoing various kinds of courses in their campus life. And, when you are organizing something in addition, so it becomes a kind of a cumbersome for them. But, when you talk of entrepreneurship, I think this should be the passionate area with the students, because this is going to be the future, and this is how we are going to actually have create value to the society. And as a student, you should be the ones who would be thinking something new, and, generating good inputs, and something, I'll repeat my word of being creating values for the society. So this is basically that the purpose of this particular session. Like ma'am has mentioned that it is under the Institute Innovation Council. So Institute Innovation Council has been established with this purpose, for the students only in higher education, that they should get familiarize themselves with this concept, and also start thinking that this is one of the career options. So, they have got various kinds of programs, so that not only you get aware, but you get a certain kind of tools also, so that if you indeed plan to start your own enterprise, or you plan to start your own business venture, then you know that how we should be doing it right, because there are positives and negatives to both of it. So let's talk of what is basically entrepreneurship, and how it is different from businesses. Like, it's been if you look at the very fabric of India or anywhere, the businesses run the nation. And it is not that the businesses don't contribute, or, the education only contributes, not like that. So businesses does contribute, and the kind of economy we are in, any the if we are experiencing growth, or if there is a flood of jobs available in the market, the businesses are the backbones of it. So entrepreneurship and businesses, although, they are not too different, but we must not take entrepreneurship as similarly, as simply very equivalent to businesses. Entrepreneurships are something that what we do is as the backbone of innovation. So whenever we think that something we are doing with kind of newness or something innovation, and then this innovation is converted into a value based business where the values are generated for the consumers, or values are generated for the society, this entire process is called as entrepreneurship. So, I'll try to be little kind of I would like to have a participative audience here. In case you have any questions, you can always ask in between, and rather than writing hi in the chat, you may write the questions, or, may raise your hands, and have a wonderful discussion. So if we talk of entrepreneurship, it's like that. It's a business with some kind of vision in terms of innovation, which where you are trying to create a different kind of value for the society. Now, if you look at if you look at the broader ways that why entrepreneurship is important, then the entire market demand, the kind of economy we have, like, every day new things are keep on happening. Like, we have seen that today, 2 days back, there was an announcement related to the banning, or, the currency notes to be uh, they would not be used beyond a certain period of time. So this is going to create a different kind of mindset in the economy. So whatever is happening in the economy, whatever the changes are happening in the broader way, they are going to boost the kind of economy we have. So entrepreneurs are the ones who create new set of demands. And if you look at the things around us, the kind of things we are consuming, for example, Oyo, Ola, or any other kind of concepts like, Zomato, Swiggy. So they are the ones who have created all these kinds of requirements, and this kind of economy where, they are becoming the part of contributing towards the broader GDP. Before Zomato and Swiggy, no such platforms were existing. And in fact, if I had to order from any kind of restaurant, I had to specifically call. Many a times the such delivery boys were never available. So they have created a different kind of demand. So this the one thing we must understand, that entrepreneurship is important for the purpose that they create demand in the economy. They create creativity. They nurture creativity. If you look at the Swiggy and Zomato, so they are the ones who have created jobs as well. In fact, there was a case study where they were trying to sell that these people are earning good amount of money. And in fact, when you talk of Oyo and if you talk of Ola and Uber, also these are the drivers who are becoming the small time entrepreneurs themselves and yet earning good amount of money. So they are these opportunities have been created by entrepreneurs. So one thing we must be very very clear, that entrepreneurship is something that I am resting myself on certain bit of innovation, and this innovation is leading towards a consequences or a step of activities, and all these steps of activities are really important for the economy to grow. So like I said, that they create demand, they create they nurture creativity, they led it to more of job opportunities. And then they have a ripple effect. Like you can see that if we talk of you know the Instamart, or if you talk of Blinkit, and now we have Zepto. So and then we are going to go get another kind of platform. And the entire concept of all these platforms is that they are providing the convenience to the consumers, and the consumers are able to order the things within few minutes and at their doorsteps, with the smaller amount of money being charged as a delivery fee. So, and it has actually increased the standard of living. So if you could relate all these points, you will understand that entrepreneurship is really really important. And why it is important for India, let's just try to answer this question as well. Because like I said in the beginning, that it is in additional kind of lecture for all of you. And when such kind of lectures are organized, the students always wonder that what kind of value addition it is giving. So I am trying to give a bit of my own knowledge to you, because I have been running this Institute Innovation Cell, and I've been in association with various kinds of authorities here. And let me tell you, these are all very systematic programs, and they indeed provide a lot of inputs to the students, because ultimately the purpose of education is to give you skill set and give you some kind of strengthening so that you can establish yourself into the market. So we have been trying to answer the question that why entrepreneurship is important. I hope you have understood this cause, and you relate with me that entrepreneurship is important. Because of late we have seen that various kinds of entrepreneurship has come up, and they are adding value to the society. Now let's answer this question, that why it is important for India. Now if you look at the people around you, the larger chunk of people are youngsters. And this particular graph is showing that the chunk of population who are going to be in the workable side, or the age category of the people who are working, is going to only rise. So if you see in 2021, they are approximately towards the 68%. So that means large amount of people are into the working age category. This is what is called as demographic characteristics, and this is something internationally we are boasting it as a kind of demographic dividend as well, because India is a nation of large youngsters. But how to give, if the number of people who are planning, or who are in the category of workable population, do we need to give them the equal number of jobs? The answer is yes. We need to give them equal number of jobs as well. So how to give this kind of number of these many number of jobs? It's very important that entrepreneurs should come up and devise certain kind of opportunities, so that these people who are there out available in the market and who are in that age category, those who can actually work, they should be getting the jobs. So entrepreneurship is becoming even more important for country like India, because in India we have larger chunk of people falling under the work workable category. So if you look at this, this is basically called as India's demographic opportunity. So far, am I making sense to all of you? And is it clear? Can any of you prompt me and tell me that am I making sense so far? Is my voice reaching to you properly? Any of you?
Yes, ma'am, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you. So if you look at the India's demographic opportunity, the the kind of population we are supporting, the 65% are supporting 35% of dependent population. So in the dependent population, you have the elderlies and the youngsters who are not yet equipped to work. Then so if you look at the volume of India's population is so huge, and out of that 65% are workable population. So you can see that there are so many, and if there are so many, definitely we need to have more persons coming out as an entrepreneurs. So I am trying to give you the context, just try understand that context, that entrepreneurship is also a career option. And if everybody says no to this career option, most of us will be bereaved will be left without jobs. The jobs are creation of the entrepreneurial activities only. The people who are developing their entrepreneurship activities, they would only let us to have, the similar number of jobs available. So the jobs would be coming to the entrepreneurial related activities only. So it is indeed important that we must have such kind of activities done in the country. Now, there's something called as startups, because if you talk of entrepreneurship, so the first word comes to the mind of the students or anybody is that there is something called as startups, and which is becoming very very popular these days. That what can be called as a startup? Because if you have been listening little carefully, I have told you what is the difference between entrepreneurship and the business in the beginning. And businesses are something that it could be like you're opening a small time shop, where you're simply following a model which is already existing, would be called as a called will be called as a business. But when you talk of entrepreneurship, obviously you need to add certain kind of values, you have to bring certain kind of innovation. So this is a primarily the difference between two. But if there is an entrepreneurship, then whether you're opening whether you're the venture you're opening would be called as a startup, then it has to fit into the definition which is provided by the various platforms of government of India. Because startup is a terminology which is developed by Indian government to fit in with the bill with a specific kind of outlets. Like if you are there in the company, existing your organization, but you do not have anything more than the 100 cr as your output, or as your turnover, then you can be called as a startup. Or if you don't have your your year of your inception is less than 10 years from the date of your present working, then it will be called as a startup. As for so for any company to be called as a startup needs to actually fulfill any such kind of any such kind of bills. Like earlier it was 7 years, but now it has been increased to 10 years. Earlier, it was the 25 crores of rupees that should be the maximum limit for the annual turnover for any company, but now it has been exceeded to 100 crores of that. So, why importance of the definition of startup is there? It is because the startups, if your company is falling under the startup definition, then there are certain government benefits, and then there are certain kind of government incentives which will become applicable to you. So this is what is called as startup. Right. I'll give a recap. So what I have been trying to make you understand. So, we have tried to understand first that what is called as entrepreneurship, and then we have understood that what is why entrepreneurship is important. We have understood that why entrepreneurship is important in the case of India. Now next we have understood that what can be called as a startup in India. So so far I believe it is clear, because next what we are going to move to is the business model canvas. If you want to understand business model canvas, you must need to understand that there is a reason of developing your entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship, if you are planning to develop it, then this is one of the tool which you should apply. I repeat that what is business model canvas? It is basically a tool to be applied if you plan to develop your own entrepreneurship or you plan to develop your own your own enterprise, and you now in the process of making your business plan, you are in the process of developing your thing, and now this particular model or this particular template would give us the right kind of indication that if I'm going right, or if if even if I'm going right, what more information I need to have. So this is the business model canvas. So before get into the business model canvas, let's invest 2 3 more minutes understanding the startups. So in case of India, you have seen that there are a lot of startups which have emerged. uh, like if you talk of Paytm, was a kind of a startup earlier. If you talk of Nika, it was kind of a startup earlier. If you talk of Oyo, Uber, Ola, or there are so many others like which keep on coming every day into the market. So they are the kind of startups. But and many of them have been wonderfully placed very well. They are becoming the unicorns. So while I'm taking this word unicorn, can some of you tell me what is the meaning of unicorn? Any of you, just to show that whether you're participative in the discussion or not. Any of you can tell me the meaning of unicorns? Have you heard of this word called unicorns? All right, so let's just take a stock of the people who are participating. If you are participating in the conversation, if you don't know the meaning, even it is fine. But just raise your hand to show that yes, you are there in the conversation. Can I have a raise of hands here? All right, so there is no noise, there's no voice. Am I still audible? Can somebody tell me that my voice is reached to you perfectly fine or not?
Yes, ma'am, you're
Yes,
audible.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the students are
So,
not responding, ma'am. So
so shall we teachers respond?
no, that's okay, ma'am. I'm just checking that whether they are listening or not, because the ultimate
Actually,
purpose
most
is
of
to
them
enlighten.
are
Uh,
engineering students, so
mm.
maybe they are not aware of the that condition of US $1 billion.
Yeah. So if they are engineering students, then ma'am, I have a very interesting insight to make here. That if you look at the startup culture in India, there is a study which suggests that most of the startups have been founded by the engineers only, by engineers only. In fact, there has been study where they're trying to figure out that what is lagging in the management education, that why they are not coming up with the similar number of business or the business ideas as the people from the BTech background or the background of engineering background are doing. So this is becoming a cause of worry, that what is lacking in management education, and why there are more BTechs who are coming up with their own ventures. So if you are BTech students, fair enough students, I believe that you already have the prototypes available or something already created in your mind, because you definitely as a BTech student you would like to bring some leverage to the society. So we were talking of unicorns, and if you talk of unicorns, this is the positive side of the story, but equally available is a negative side of story. That means many startups are failing as well, and the percentage of the organizations or the startups failing is continuously rising. And so earlier the venture capitalists, those who were showing the interest in the markets where they were investing into the startups, have now started going have started shying away. and somehow in their interest into the startups is fading. So ultimately, what I'm trying to make you understand is that even if the startups are having a rosy story behind, that you have got unicorns available, at the same point of time we have some sad stories too. So if I am planning to enter into entrepreneurship, then we need to have some questions need to be answered properly. That means there has to be a proper template which we need to fill up, so that before we get into this thing, we have got all the questions and all the very important things clear. So this is why, and this is where business model canvas comes into the picture. Earlier, when you were having any courses, like entrepreneurship is becoming a course with everybody nowadays. And if you are doing any kind of introduction to entrepreneurship or any other course related to this, every course would ask you to submit a business plan towards the end. So business plans are the most cumbersome kind of exercises, because most students would not know that what to be covering, other than that if it is provided in the syllabus that these are the topics or these are the contents which needs to be provided. But the things were not very clear. So to solve this issue, we have something called as business model canvas. And Alexander Osterwalder gave this particular template, and this template is basically focusing on all aspects which are important for any business to function. Like we've said, that if you talk of businesses or if you talk of entrepreneurship, so the purpose of entrepreneurship or business is to make money, is to have the profit generalizations. If there is no profit, you would understand that the doing all these kinds of activities is not going to yield anything bigger. So the how we actually run our organization in such a manner that, or and take care of the things, at least even if I'll also like to put in a word of caution there, that even if we are doing everything right on the basis of business model canvas also, but still there is another factors of the businesses to function. Not all businesses would function because you have done everything correct, because there is still reasons which are beyond the controlling factor of the entrepreneur. But whatever we can control, we should try to control. So Alexander Osterwalder gave this concept of business model canvas, and he said these are the 9 elements which you must take into account, and before you actually start your entrepreneurship exercise, and look at this one by one and see that whether you're able to answer the questions like this. And he also, there was one additional element which has been added. It's called sustainable development. But we are not focusing on that as of now. And we'll just look at the various contents of business model canvas one by one. So if look at the first segment is called as the customer segments. I hope I have made my point clear while I said that why the business model canvas has to be created. If it is not clear, I'll just recap or give a reason once again, that it is about telling that what questions we need to answer clearly before we start our own enterprise, because it essentially all the businesses survive for the purpose of creation of values. If the values have to be generated, then how we need to actually create it. So the first question we need to answer is that what customer segments. This is one of the element of business model canvas only, and which is popularly called as BMC. So if you look at the customer segments, the who we need to answer this question, that who are the consumers, because ultimately businesses need to give the value addition to the or value to the consumers. I hope you understand what is the meaning of consumers, the persons who are ultimately using the services. So if you look at this Zepto, or if you look at the models of Zepto is something which is very prominent these days, because they are giving the value of the time. If you are in really urgent need of certain things, so you want the delivery to be happening within 10 minutes or 12 minutes, so Zepto would come as something which is offering you convenience of time, something which is giving you things within specified time, and most of the categories are available. So it is the convenience, and also the prices of the products are not hiked. It is that you have to pay a delivery charges. So you have to understand all the businesses exist for the purpose of generation of values only. But what value, and who is that consumer whom you're trying to give the value to? So if you define the consumer segment, or if you define the customer segment, they can be defined it into various ways. So the first one is like mass market, something which is broad, similar kind of customers. So if you are doing something for everybody, then it is called as mass market. If you're drawing it for a particular section of market, then it is called as a niche market. That means you have a specified particular market available, and you are doing it for that. So it is called as niche market. I hope these terminologies have been spoken to you earlier in the classes as well. But what is the difference between mass market and niche market? So in the case of niche market, it is a smaller section, whereas in the case of mass market, it is for everyone. Like you could see the movies also. So in the movies, there are movies like Salman Khan movies. They say that while they are doing the analysis, they are doing really well at the mass market segments where the larger chunk of populations are lying. Whereas in some theme based movies, they are working at a specific the theaters where a particular kind of audience is going. So whom you are targeting to? You are targeting to mass, or you are targeting to niche segment, or you are having the segmentations. That means you're allocating your products differently to different kind of segments. Segmentation is that you have a group of people who have similar needs within the group, but outside the group they are different. Then similarly, you have the diversified market. So these are the segments which are not related, and they have different kind of needs. So ultimately we are trying to understand then who all are we are trying to satisfy, or whom we are trying to provide the value to. Then you have got the multi-sided of market. So these are the different kind of suppliers and customer segments that are well served. So ultimately, we are trying to answer the question, who is that customer whom I'm making the product for? Because if I'm having any kind of idea in mind, and I just want to convert this into as an opportunity, because the ideas would be there that sometimes are only a figment of imagination, and not every idea is to be converted or thought like this, that it is a kind of an opportunity. Because opportunity, before it actually gets commercialized or before it actually gets converted into a business, needs to answer certain set of questions. So we are trying to understand those set of questions with the help of business model canvas only. If you are having, you're sleeping at night, and you think that this is a wonderful idea, let me start the business tomorrow on the basis of that. So ideally the answer should be, you should, you may do the things on the basis of your instinct, but at the same point of time, try answering these questions to, even if to yourself, before you jump into this kind of profession where the consumption of money would be large. We need to understand all these things. So the next aspect is the value proposition. So far, any questions? So if you remain quiet, I understand that there are no questions, but if you have any question, you can ask. Okay. So the next element is the value proposition. So in the case of value proposition, it is that what value I am offering. Uh, if I'm talking of values, so values are based upon a lot of things. Like just now, I gave the example of values in terms of uh, the convenience. Like, we have taken the example of Zepto. So it is that they are giving us the convenience. I may be introducing a product which is giving me something new, something which has not been previously available to the consumer. So newness is one of this. Or I am giving you extraordinary performance. Like, I'm introducing a product which is giving a phenomenally better performance than the previous products which are available. Or maybe it is the design, or maybe it is the kind of brand, the status, the price, or basically you are working around the products or the services with a particular kind of concept of value proposition in your mind, that what additional you're providing. So I have told you previously also that when you talk of business and when you talk of entrepreneurship, the essential difference between two is that you have to give additional values, and if it is like that, there are so many kirana shops which are opening and you're also opening the similar kind of things, then there is no differentiation, but if you're opening next to a kirana shop, your own shop, where the people are moving around and they are able to select and feel, and they can act, they have the ability to do the self check-in also, then the value proposition is that you have got additional novelty element added. So every business needs to add certain values to the consumer. So but what values, we are just trying to understand those things. It could be based upon the performance, like most of you are BTech students, so you may introduce certain things like there are batteries which actually loses out uh, beyond certain period of time. So if you are introducing a battery which is lasting for a longer period of time or lasting forever kind of thing, then it is a kind of a performance. So you have seen that there are businesses which are working on this. So you have a normal battery cell and you have something which is going to last much longer. So it is based upon the performance. So ultimately it is basically that you have added a value to the consumer. Any questions so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any question, ma'am? Because I can.
The students are connected, but I think
No, it's
technical
okay.
students are more connected. Their questions are not so. I think management students would have been better responder in this.
No, that's okay, ma'am. So it's basically that there is a voice coming over, so that is why I'm asking that is there any question or not. So
Okay, I just
Zoom पे
so this is the second aspect of value proposition. The third one is about the channels. So those who have done a kind of marketing thing, they would know that, or anybody, even if you are BTech, so it's a combination of BTech and MBA, which is most popular. Why BTech people need to take MBA courses is because that there are few bit of management practices which needs to be undertaken for the students of BTech as well. So if you talk of channels, it's basically that how the company is going to reach to its customer segment. So we have already answered that question of customer segments, like whether you are into segmentation or whether you are going to follow the mass markets or whether you're going to have differentiated market segment or you need to have only a niche market. So what are you planning to do? So this is the answer which we have tried to give during the particular aspect of customer segments. But when we talk of the channels, it's like that how I'm planning to reach. I am planning to reach it my own. That means I am using my own sales force. I am using my own channels, or I am sourcing it with other partners. So let's ask this question, if you talk of this e-commerce giants these days, so e-commerce was something which was previously not very popular earlier, but now you see that we have Amazons, we have got Walmart, we have got other companies also there in the market. So if Mintra is delivering, is it delivering through its own logistic company, or is it does it have any kind of partnership with any other company? Can someone answer this question? I'll repeat the question for you, that we have partnerships existing between Amazon, Mintra as a logistic partner, or something, they are delivering it themselves. Like Amazon is delivering its parcel through its own people, or they have any kind of association form. Any of you can answer. Like these are something, which you're usually using. Any of you? All right. So quite something, the silence is golden. So most of you people have, I think, imbibed that value that silence remains golden. है ना? है ना मैम, ऐसा ही है इनके साथ तो, that they're working on the philosophy that silence is golden, so they would not like to speak. So if you talk of these kind of companies, they obviously have partnerships, and if these companies who are doing the logistics, and they are for multiple reasons, and because they have the logistics as their core competence, and also the logistics partners, they have they are the backbones of these big companies. So whether the company like Amazon is doing the selling or reaching to the customer segment its own, or is it doing it through the partner? So we were trying to this kind of answer this kind of question. So answer is yes, they have partners, and similarly other companies also have partners, because there are certain rules and regulations also behind. So whether I'm using my own channels, I'm using my direct sales force, I'm using web sales, I'm using my own stores, or I'm using the partner stores, so this kind of question need to answer through the channels. The channels also are the very important contributor to the value propositions, because many a times the kind of channels we use, they provide a particular kind of value. So this is left for you to introspect that what I'm talking of, that if a particular channel I'm employing, that what value proposition is it giving? Because just like take the example of Amazon. So, there are the kind of logistic companies which are at play, and they are delivering the packages within that specified time as been promised. So it is the kind of value proposition which the company is providing. Then the next question we need to answer is that what are the offerings we are making? Offerings means that what things we are need to give. So we have answered this question with the help of value propositions previously. So, if I say that business model canvas is a combination of 9 elements which we need to answer, they can be overlapping between this, because the things are always interconnected, but does not mean that there is these questions may be given a skip. It is only that these questions are having bit of overlapping, but they are need to be answered in a proper manner, so that when we are starting our own enterprise, when we are starting our own businesses, we have the things clearly set out in front of us. So when we talk of the value proposition, it's like that what I am giving to the consumers in terms of what additional value, what kind of values which we are giving. So it could be on the basis of quantitative, or it could be on the basis of qualitative, or it could be on the basis of novelty, which could be completely available based upon the kind of technology we have. So like most of you are BTech students, so if you are BTech, so technology is one of the word which is embedded in your degree as well. So if you talk of technology, every day the technology is changing, and the technology is becoming the fertile ground on which the newer solution needs to be provided based upon the technology available. So like today we have got AI available, and on the basis of AI, like you have got the Bard and you have got Chat GPT. How many of you have heard of Chat GPT? Can someone raise hand and tell me that this is something you have heard of previously?
Ma'am.
Yes, I can hear one of the. All right. So, any of you would like to speak on this? Okay, fine. So it is like that. The Chat GPT is one of the platforms for now AI available. Huh? So AI is a newer form of technology. Like we have seen that Google is using it, and whereas AI in a basic form was already available, but now you have got the higher versions, and the deliverables are becoming even higher. So how we can integrate this technology into the value creation for the consumers? So like we have seen that the students have started using this as a part of their mechanisms of writing the answers, or completing their assignments. And while you people have started doing it, there is already alarm bells which are ringing in the government circles, and they are always already into the process of creating a particular kind of legal framework so that the misuse of such kind of platforms is avoided. So technology is one where you can actually leverage and create a value proposition for the consumers in a better, in a different way. That means what I'm trying to say is that you can use technology to create a product which has got value to the consumers. So that's about the answer of question of value propositions. Then we have got the questions like who all are going to be the key partners, what are going to be the key activities, and what are going to be the key resources. I hope I'm making the things clear to you in the terms of that this is basically basically useful for the person who are willing to create a business model for the purpose of the business which they are planning to undertake. So if it is a IIC activity, they believe that if we are trying to tell you that entrepreneurship is one of the way of looking at your own career option, then this is a way of putting your business into a real workable kind of a business idea. So the next answer we need to understand is then who all are going to be our key partners. So like we have said that, the channels. So if in the case of channels, if I formulated my association with a particular strategic group or a particular company, they are going to be the key partners. Let's take an example of Oyo or Uber. So the key partners for them is who, the key partners are the persons who are working as the drivers, the persons who are taking the consumers, taking the customer from one place to another. If they say no, or if there is a problem happening at their end, the entire services of Oyo and Uber would fall down. So this is the key partners. Who are the ones whose association is the most important for the delivery of the value which we have created. So they become the answer to the key partners. They are these are the key areas on which the entire of the business is standing on. The next question is that what key activities and what will be our key activities? What are we going to do, or what are going to be the most important or critical activities which we need to perform it right? So in the case of the the key activities, like in the case that Zepto and all. So if you see that Zepto has a model that it will be putting the delivery within 10 minutes or so. For that, they have created certain kind of outlets which is nearer to the higher density population, or at least the population where the likely orders are coming from. But out of the 10 minutes, if there is a tat of 10 minutes delivery time, they have only 1 minute within the premises. That means only 1 minute the product which has been ordered need to be packed in such a manner that it is delivered safely to the consumer. And while the Zepto was introducing, they were saying that if in that rut of delivering it faster to the consumer, are we sacrificing the lives of people who are working as the drivers, or are we sacrificing the lives of the people who are the key partners? So it was well advertised, and they were well documented thing, and they considered to this that the people who are going to be the Zepto suppliers, they would not be running beyond a particular speed, and they all have e-bikes only. So you can expect that you would not be able to race it at a higher speed if even if you desired so the key activities which they need to perform is that how quickly they are able to bundle the products in a manner that the most of the time is given to the person who is out there on delivery, and not being able to compromise, not we are not compromising in his life as well. So this becomes a key activity. And then what are our key resources? So just see that the key resources are what in the case of Zepto, what is the key resource? The key resource is the outlets also, but the entire of this business is resting on the premise of the technology only. You have got the technology infrastructure available, then only you'll be able to run it. For example, take the example of GPS services. So GPS is basically working on the technology of 4G or 5G data. So in case the connections are broken, so will the GPS work? So the answer to this question would be no. Why? How can communication channel work when it is deprived of the communication platform? So the key resources is that what communication platform we are using. I remember there are multiple occasions, when across India it has happened that due to certain kind of political or it could be some other issues, the technologies or the communication platforms have come to halt because internet connectivity was banned for a few hours or for a day. And once the connectivity is broken, all these services would come to a halt. So the key resources are such. And so, if I am developing my platform, I have to be very careful that what key resources I am using, and if I'm using those resources, how to maintain on all those the resources so that the things work uninterrupted manner. So these are the things we have so far answered: the key partners, key activities, key resources, value propositions, customer relationships, channels, and customer segments. I hope am making the things clearer so far. In case you have any question, you can ask. However, you've not been asking any questions since the beginning. Then the two other aspect is the cost structure and revenue streams. What happens that when I'm answering all these questions, I'm just trying to figure out that what are the business, how the business is going to function. But uh, if you look at the ultimate purpose of doing any kind of business is the creation of profit or the profit maximization. So the very basic question, the where the money is going to come from, and the where the money is going to be invested heavily, these two questions are the very important cornerstone of business model canvas. So if you are creating Zepto, and if you're making such kind of a model, how much you're going to invest in the creation and that means acquisition of a particular customer, and also the retention of that particular customer, because there is a customer service set up behind. You have other aspects which needs to be covered into. So, how much you're going to invest into this? If you're putting your money into the development of an infrastructure which is going to work 24/7, or you have got a kind of delivery partners who are going to be there, at least sufficient numbers so that the deliveries are actually being taken care. So, if you're putting them onto the salary structures, how much would be the cost incurred into this? So, that what would be the cost structure? And where is the money going to come from? So like in the case of Zepto, where is the money coming from? Is it only the delivery fee, or is it that the companies who are advertising on their platform, or the companies who are selling through their platforms are also paying through? And if they are paying that, what is a percentage, that would decide that as a person who is simply owning a shop would keep a product which is offering them higher margins? What does that mean? That it means that loss of a particular segment of customers who are looking for some other aspects. So where is the revenue stream? Where is the money coming from? And so you need to answer these questions very well, that money flow, that means outflow of money, and also the incoming, that where is the kind of generation of revenue streams which you are going to undertake. So that has to be taken care of. So we have answered the basic questions. Let's look at the revenue streams and take one of the examples here. Uh, the kind of revenue streams which we like, maybe we are putting the things on licensing, or we are having the brokerage fee. These could be the examples, or the leasing when we are leasing it out. All these or the subscription phase, in the case of Netflix, that could be an answer of the revenue streams. Let's take the examples of Zomato and Swiggy or Zomato kind of thing, where for the business model canvas. So if you look at the kind of model they have created, is the key partners for them is the restaurants and the delivery personals. The key activities that they are going to provide the search services and so on so forth. So the kind of mobile application for iOS is a channel, the kind of mobile application for Android is a channel, the website is a channel. The cost structure, if you look at the cost structure, the technology setup is the cost structure, the salaries given to the employees is the cost structure, this kind of recurring fee expenditure is a cost structure. And where is the money going to come from? So for Zomato, so advertising, online ordering, where they're having a cut, the kind of Zomato Gold and other subscription things they are going to get the revenue from. Now they are also coming up with the restaurant tie-up, so you are dining out, also giving them some kind of revenue stream. So this is the kind of business model canvas the Zomato has developed for itself, and so they are able to function it nicely in the market. We next example I am taking here is the business model canvas of Nykaa. So if you look at Nykaa, Nykaa is a platform, e-commerce platform, which is specifically into the beauty related products. So the kind of key activities they take is that what is the inbound logistics, what is the operations, what are the outbound logistics. So I think, you should go through the examples yourself and tell me that if you have any questions coming to your mind. But look at the kind of revenue streams which they have taken, like, what are the sales of products, what is the discounted income, what is the commission income, what is the advertisement money they are generating, and the cost structure. You can see that these are the cost structures which they are incurring. The key partners are the beauty brands which are advertising on that. So this is a kind of way of putting the things a business into a right kind of perspective. And basically it's about that you are able to understand all the nitty-gritties related to the business you are planning to open or you have already opened. And mind you, this business model canvas is not a one-time effort. You can improvise it, and something which you keep on adding into. It's not necessary that you have made a you have made a business model canvas for your business plan and now it is done and put it into your drawers. No, it is something which you need to keep on improvising, and as and when the things are coming, you have to bring out the changes into it. So I have got few examples as a questions. Hopefully you are listening to me, and then if you are listening to me, you will be able to answer. So if this question is posed to you, this niche market is an example of what? Customer segments, customer relationships, value proposition, or revenue stream. Can someone answer here? All right. So it's an answer of the answer is customer segments. All right. So this is another question for you to ponder on and see that if you are able to answer this question. All right. So I believe there is no one really interested in the question and not even in the answer. Right. So thank you so much. I hope I have been able to share my bit of understanding on the business model canvas to you. I hope it has gone down well with you. And despite that you have not asked any questions, I would certainly be happy to answer any questions if there is any. But if there are none, thank you so much from my side.
Okay, thanks a lot, ma'am. How beautifully you explained what business model canvas is, the complete framework you have discussed, and given a beautiful example also of Zomato and Nykaa. And really, being a technical person also, we are not so much engaged into it, but it was really very, very wonderful session, eye-opening session, which is a demand of today's time.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Everyone wants that they should be the business creators rather than seekers, job creators, which we have to begin. And these characteristics should be known to the students. Really, I'm very much thankful to you for sparing your wonderful time and adjusting with whatever the adjustments were required over